Ironwood Games. This is Andrew.
And this is Marcus.
All right, and today we are, if you can't tell, you didn't read the link that you clicked on, or you don't know from the look of this, we are going to explore Myst. This
Yay!
is Masterpiece Edition 25th Anniversary, and Marcus, you've never played Myst, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I have. I've played it when I was younger and got incredibly frustrated and stumped, and then have played it since then probably two more times to experience it. So I'm going to kind of be our guide as we go through. So in our setup, some of our audio is not going through for you, Marcus, so I'm just going to recap some things we missed before we got right to this kind of landing page. There's the quick video of the book falling through the rift, right, that we saw, and we hear Atris's voice kind of giving us the brief narrative that we have.
Andrew,
Yes.
really quickly. So you said the book was falling through the rift, correct?
Yes.
Is the rift spelled with a Y as well?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, only the island of Myst is spelled with a Y.
Okay. That was it. Continue.
Okay, and basically he is just stating that he dropped the book through the rift and then has since realized that the book wouldn't be destroyed, and is hopeful that wherever it ends up or whatever it is will be beneficial as opposed to detrimental. So that's our introduction. We are the wanderer, the visitor. I don't remember what the protagonist, you as the person to experience this story. Basically, you come upon.
Are we the walrus?
No, it's
Cuckoo, get you.
no, Marcus. You're going back too far. Myst is from the
Okay.
90s. But so essentially, we're here, this starry field. The book is in front of us, and the only option we have is to click on the book. And so this is the book.
I mean, could also click out of the game and go do something else, but
Well, yes, and then you want to experience it. So when we click on the book, it opens, and we see this cutscene.
FMV videos and books.
Yes,
They had that in the 90s?
barely. This game was pretty cutting edge because of things like this, right? Like they had it embedded FMV things. You can see it's real scratchy and pixelated and that. But it's interesting, and it sets up a lot. If we go through this whole series, if we go through the other ones, it sets up a lot of kind of foundational things. This theme, this motif of the floating picture and the flyby of the island, kind of happens in all the subsequent games. So I'm not going to get into all the lore of this. We'll kind of explore it as we go, and if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them as they come up. So this is the book. It was called Myst on the cover we saw, and then it opens up to this thing, and we can click it.
We clicked it, yay!
And once we click it, we get the island flyby again. So one of the things as we go through is you kind of soak in the visuals and the pieces, and kind of you're recognizing or seeing, kind of observing what's on the island so that you have an idea as you explore, because this game is a lot about exploration. And then it's click around, see things. So how do you want to do this, Marcus? You want me to just point out some things? You want me to kind of walk around and you call attention to things and we can take a look at them?
I think we should. I think it would be best if you just kind of go through it as intended. Like, okay, like as you get here, you're curious, and so I would like probably explore like this mountain first. So I would probably go to the hub. Like, what would you do in these situations? And then we can debate it, and then we could be like, oh, like, well, I want to go left. I'm like, well, I would probably go right in this situation, and then you could do like, well, this is why we shouldn't go right, or this is why we should.
So then we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna do basically recalling as a 12-ish-year-old, first playing this game of kind of what my experience was or what that was. So clicking
So,
around, looking at some things. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, so like in my experience, I probably wouldn't go to the island with the gears on it, just because to me, like that, according to video game logic, is like, oh, this is like a puzzle in itself. So I should probably go talk to some sort of person or get some sort of direction first before going to an individual kind of puzzle.
Right. So you don't want to go to the gears. So I went to the
But what do
gears.
you want to do?
No, it's fine. So one of the things that's hard to know as not the person controlling it is what is and isn't clickable. So you'll notice I can't really interact with the gear, right? And that's why I keep kind of clicking it kind of goes to the side. These switches we can interact with. But very quickly, even if I go up to the gear, I realize like, oh, it looks like there's an opening down here in the corner, but there's nothing I can do with the actual gear. So I'm going to go back down, kind of keep exploring.
As if the gear moves versus it's just a stagnant
Right.
gear on like on the ground. Okay. And
So it
like why?
does, yeah. I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, go for it.
No, it does give us, and that's kind of the idea in this, is you kind of see these visual clues or these hints of like, oh, there's probably something to do with this, right? But we don't know the answer yet. Um, as we get up here, we start to climb these stairs. You'll see there's a scrap of paper on the ground. So we're definitely going to explore that. And I'll read it for us. It says, Catherine, I've left for you a message of utmost importance in our forechamber beside the dock. Enter the number of marker switches on this island into the imager to retrieve the message. Yours, Atris. So again, I told you in the beginning
Atris.
the voice we heard was Atris, but if we didn't know that, this is the first introduction to any characters or things you get. So there's a Catherine who he's writing to, and Atris who is writing this. And then we saw those
So if I
switches.
am the walrus, are you Catherine?
Yes, I'm Catherine. You're the walrus. You've got the lore down. We we no need to continue. Like we
We
figured
got to
this
figure out
one
where
out.
Atris is. He threw a book at
Um,
us, and now we got to figure out why.
yes, and so you see a couple of things. Four chamber beside the dock. Enter the number of marker switches on the island to do that. So I'm gonna go. This is the dock, obviously where we came from. We need to know how many marker switches are on the island. We already saw two that we interacted with. So now this first task kind of tells us to wander around the island and explore, find some things. So that's a third. We got to keep track. So we're at three. No switches in here. And
Hence the wall
again,
switch.
right, but we're looking for those specific marker switches. Ooh. So again, as a young explorer, you kind of start clicking around on things and just getting a sense of the island. I like the way the game kind of throws you into it and just says, go find these marker switches and that. And so we're observing a lot of things. And again, at any point, if you're like, oh, let's go explore with that, do that. I'm just ignoring a lot of things that I know aren't super relevant right now, or that we're going to come back to. All right, so we had three. Looks like there's one over here. Fourth one over here, so that gives us four. And looks like there's a fifth one here, number 5. We'll keep
No, I would have
going.
missed that. Kind of blended into the background.
Number 6 is over here. I don't think there's anything down here.
Ooh, a door! A door that opens.
Door that opens.
Those robots?
Some panels. I think they're generators.
Oh, now it looks like a generator. Okay.
Yeah. But again, this is kind of how the game gives you that freedom to explore and kind of encourages you to start seeing some things. So we said, how many is this?
6?
6. Good. Good. Somewhere, this is the hardest one to get to for me. There's number 7. Again, inside this cabin. And then down here across this bridge, or across this island, which there is not a bridge, is number 8. And I believe that's all of them. So I think there's 8 marker switches on the island. This is interesting, right? Look at this. A little sunken ship.
Like the second ship we apparently sunk in on.
Oh, yeah. So, right, we start to see everything's connected, right, is what we have. So let's go down back to our dock, where we started. And now this weird looking thing, oh, it's a door. Go in
Oh.
here. And this thing turns out to be an imager. If I click on it, it's a little hologram device, and that turns it off. We click it again, it turns on, and it's just boring water. So what we need to find is some kind of input. And again, you just have to be observant as you go around. We see over on the side as we go, there is a marker on the wall. So it tells us settings, dimensional imager, topographical extrusion test 40, water turbulent pool 67, marker switch diagram 47. So if I hit the button, we'll see we're on 67 right now, which was the turbulent water pool. If we went to, was it 47? Would give us the marker switch diagram. So we see, oops, go back here, turn it on now with a different number. And it says, oh, this is a marker switch. Again, in case it's possible you read that note, you went back down to the dock here, and then we're like, what do I do? So it kind of leads you to, this is a marker switch. And then we can look at number 40. It's on the list. It loves to be.
So could we have opened that door earlier before we went to go
Yes.
count all the switches? Okay.
Yeah. And I may have, again, when I first played it. I don't remember. This is just the topographical map. So it's some test features. And then remember, the note told us to put into this imager the number of switches on the island. And we said there were how many?
8.
That's right, 8. All right, so let's do it. So we put in number 8. Are you ready?
Catherine, my love, I have to leave.
There's a dude.
Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe. Most of my books have been destroyed. Catherine, it's one of our sons. I suspect Aguilar, but I shouldn't jump to conclusions. I'll find him and Cirrus as well. I should have known better.
Is this Atreus?
This is Atreus.
Well, I've removed the remaining undamaged books from the library and placed them in their places of protection. You shouldn't have to use the books until I return. But if you've forgotten the access keys, remember the tower rotation. Oh, and don't worry, Catherine. Everything will be fine. I'll see you shortly. Oh, wait, and erase this message after you viewed it, just to be safe.
All right. And so we get the message. He recorded the secret message to Catherine, told us, right, all the books in this library were burned, or most of them, and it was one of their sons. So we discover, or kind of piece together, that Catherine and Atreus are the mom and the dad. And then he mentioned he thinks it's Achenar, but it could be Cirrus, right? So those are their 2 sons that we have. And so that's kind of what we know now. And so, he said he hid his other books, he's going to return, and if he hasn't, something may have happened. But don't worry, Catherine. He'll figure it out. But obviously, we're here and not Catherine, so we got to keep exploring.
So now we're not Catherine.
No, we're the walrus. Remember? So, what should we explore next?
Well, he mentioned books, so maybe we should go look at the books.
Like it. All right. So if I'm going too fast for you, let me know. I just click around because I know we're going. So back here, this is the library. We have right here the books. And so as we go, we can click on all these books and we notice they're all burned. So as he told us, all of his books have been burned, or most of them, and so they're unreadable. However, there's a few, if you notice, that are kind of in good condition. If we click on those, there's still writing on them.
Which means we gotta burn them, is what you're saying.
No, which means we get the fun task of reading. However, I'm not going to bore you all with reading through it or doing that. If you're playing the game and you want to do that, there's information in here that we discover. So I'm going to read you a little bit of this first one, just to give you a sense of what we got. So it says, I have called this age Channelwood. It is a very different world. Though it is exactly how I imagined it, it is still amazing to see it with my own eyes. So as you go through, you realize these books are describing worlds. And then he discusses his experience kind of on the world and what happens. And then peppered throughout, there's some discussion of how kind of he built his own lodgings, right, cabins or whatever on the world, adventures he may have had with his sons on these worlds, if there were inhabitants of the world, things that happened. And then as you keep reading, the books are pretty long. Here's some story of the history that they were told about this world. But as you keep reading on some of these, you get to different
Different
fonts,
colors.
which means sometimes are important, sometimes aren't, and depend. But even more than that,
Red font.
we get to these drawings. And usually the drawings are informative or tell us things that we need to know. And that's the end of the Channelwood book. Right, and so we can see there's a book for Channelwood. Is this age? There's this other book called The Rocks, where it talks about Emmett, who lived on the rocks, Branch and Emmett, and some things. It's got a boat.
A boat.
We've seen a boat before, so there's the common motif of the boat. Right, some kind of submersible lamp.
Oh, I would have not guessed a submersible lamp.
Well, it
non-submersible
says
lamp.
it here. It's just hard to read because of the pixelization of the font. A lighthouse. Stone ship age. And so this is a map of that age. Right. And then we've got constellations. And these picture of an anchor. Huh. So again,
Deciphering the stars.
Something like that. We're not gonna spend a bunch of time on that.
We did find stars earlier.
We did. We did find stars in that other room.
So would it be wise for us to go through all of them right now, or should we just pick one, go do whatever puzzle associated with that, and then come back? Or is that not how this works?
It's up to you. I was just kind of going through them until you had an idea, and it sounds like you want to try and explore something with those stars.
I mean, we can start with the stars. I figured just start with the first one and then work our way left to right. Okay. So Channelwood. So we see Channelwood, and let's say we read it. Where would it direct us?
Well, it talks about an age that's basically covered in water and has these really tall trees growing through, in which they build basically tree houses, rope ladders, and things to traverse in that. And so you see that's what's being drawn here, is these tree chop village, if you will. Okay. So where it would lead me, based on what we already explored, right? See all the trees, and remember we had
Little cabin.
A little cabin. This is, like I said, the hardest one for me to get to. I can never. There we go. So I would say somehow this cabin has something to do with that age. So I would come in here. Oh, okay. There's a safe, which has a three number combination. There is some kind of pipe that doesn't seem to do anything right now. Oh, okay. I can turn it on. It was off. I'm assuming red is off and green is on, so we can turn it on.
It looks like green is clockwise and red is counterclockwise.
Yes. And then, now that we've turned it on, we can hear, if you can hear the sound, we can hear kind of a hissing sound, which, as we all know from the radios, means
gas.
Natural gas, exactly. And so this thing in front of us looks like some kind of boiler? Furnace thing. So, if we had some way to light the pilot, maybe something would happen.
Okay.
Right? So, but we're kind of at a dead end here because we don't have any way to light the pilot.
That button's not like a flint thing on the bottom left?
No. Sadly, no. Clicking it doesn't do anything.
So can we leave this natural gas running while we go find some sort of fire type device?
I think it turns off automatically. Or, nope, we can leave it running. Because,
blow up the island. Why not?
Why not? So you've got the right idea, and really we need to kind of figure out how to activate the rest of that puzzle.
Okay.
And I'm going to help you out a little bit. Remember these switches?
Okay.
There's a switch. If we notice, there's kind of a switch out with each of these buildings, each of these things. So I'm going to throw the switch on. And then, see, there's a switch with this building, and how do okay, I hate, navigating is a little bit hard in this game. Switch out with this building, right, and so on. And then I will tell you what I know. This map here, if you notice, this is a map of Myst Island. And this is the library we're in. We had turned on the switch over by the gears, and now I just turned on the switch over by the cabin. So those things appear on the map. And then if I kind of interact with the map, I will quickly learn, oh, my mouse turns into a thing, and I can do something with this. And we see at the bottom says tower rotation. And then I hear in the background some kind of grinding mechanical pieces moving. So I'm going to line up the tower, this red line. It turns red when it lines up with the switch from the cabin.
Okay.
And then, now what?
Isn't that the lighthouse, though?
What, the lighthouse?
It wasn't directly on the cabin.
Oh, no, but it's... See, if we
part of it.
Keep turning it, it turns white.
Oh, okay.
And so we learned that the red is when it lines up with the switch, or the correct position.
Okay.
All right. And now... what else can we do? Well, if we look back at our map, the tower is at somewhere behind the library that we're in, right?
Okay.
And the back of the library, remember, is this, bookshelf.
Okay.
How could we get behind the bookshelf?
Kicking it in.
Well, we could definitely try that. Not gonna work.
Set fire to it.
What about... It's already had fire set to it, Mark. So what
Oh,
about...
and we're looking for fire, too.
What else
Damn
do
it.
we see in our kind of view here? Oh,
I
what
mean,
are
if
these
we're
pictures?
doing secret kind of logic, we're just throw books off the shelf until one of them activates the secret passage.
Yes. But
Is
I'm going to
it
save
one
us
of the
some time.
paintings?
So the paintings here, right, show on this side looks like the bookcases turn into stairs to a secret passage. And the other one has a picture of the open door behind us. So if we explore around and we kind of play around and figure out... Oh! I'm going to click that painting. And it reveals the secret passage, which we can go up.
If we click the painting again, will it close it?
Oh, now the door is closed behind us. This one again? No, it gives us the wrong
We gotta do
answer
the
on
open door.
Family Feud. So it looks like if we did this painting, it would give us the open door. And now we see how that mechanic works, right?
I don't know how I feel about that, the idea of pressing paintings to do magic swirly things, but okay.
I hear you, and it is one of the complaints that I have about the game. It doesn't kind of fit with everything else, but I give it a pass because it's the 90s and we're trying to do kind of an advanced series of things. So if I walk down that tunnel, I'm going to go in this elevator. Oop, says library. Let's click the button.
They burned down the library.
Well, they burned all the books in the library. The
Which
library
means there
itself
must be
is that
fire still in the library.
All right. And now we see right in front of us this ladder, this picture of an open book. And so do you want to go up the ladder or do you want to go look around this chamber?
Let's look around the chamber.
Okay. So as we go, I see
Another
a
ladder.
plaque with a key and another ladder. And then,
It's a key or book.
so key or book?
Well, let's do book first, seeing as that's the first thing we saw, and see just what's in there.
Okay. And what we have, nothing else does anything. We have a very narrow slit that shows us a very tall tree.
Okay.
Right? So the book...
That's not helpful.
Well, it is, because we read the book about channelwood that has to do with the tall trees.
Okay.
So we have... This is telling us basically that the alignment is correct.
Okay.
Right? That we're aligned to the channelwood. And then... So now I assume we'll go look at the key?
Sure.
If we go up here, key... Ooh, what does it tell us here? 724.
2-4. Okay.
So, this is important if you're playing this game, or any Myst game, write these things down, because you need to know them. I think 4, or one of the future games, has a picture. You can take a screenshot and then kind of observe them later, which was a great improvement. So we've got 724. Remember back in the cabin, we needed a 3-digit combination.
Oh, we did. There was a safe on the wall. Is that how we get fire?
Oh, I wonder. Starting to figure out how this works, huh, Marcus?
I hope so.
All right. So I'm just going to leave us here because there's nothing else to explore. We already figured out how to open the door to get back. One other thing I want to look at while we're here, since there's all these walls, that's the door. We've seen the map. There's this red book, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And this page, red page, right next to it. So I want to just explore these books because the only other book we saw was at the beginning to get us to Myst Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we open this book, we're going to see a very, very staticky, fuzzy broadcast.
Okay.
And that's it. Really, there's nothing to it. We can't do anything with it. So clearly that book is broken.
Yes, the signal is... The antenna on the book is not working well.
It's not working. So, but there's this red page right next to it. This is a red book. What if we take the red page and we put it in the red book?
Madness.
And we get the kind of sound, one of the Myst sounds of like, oh, something happened, right? And then it shows the book. Now let's open it here. Oh. We're seeing it a little bit more in tune, right? And we've got a very blurry guy with a message we can't really understand out. It's still fuzzy and staticky, and he seems to be confused about what's going on. So, and then I want to bring our attention on the other side. There's a blue book. And very similarly, nothing makes any sense. Nothing's coming through. Shall we add the blue page?
Let's add the blue page to the red book.
Okay. I like your thing. So we're carrying the blue page.
Okay.
Oh, it won't go in. Looks like we can't add the blue page to the red book. I love the effort though. Should we put it back?
That makes me sad. No, put it in the book, see what happens.
Again, we get our sound of success. And a little bit of a clearer picture. Again, a guy that seems to not know what's going on. And we can barely make out and hear.
Okay.
So, let's open the door. And let's see if we can get that fire started over at the trees. And then we'll probably be done for this evening. Okay, so we'll go back to the trees. We remembered the safe. So again, like I said, it's kind of looking around and exploring is important just because that way you have an idea when we find those numbers of what we're going to do with them. Our code was, if we wrote it down, 724. Right? Okay, so we put in the code, grab the door handle. Oh, it opens.
Matches!
And we've got ourselves a match. And
do we have to do the gas again?
No, the gas is still on. We can hear it.
Do we have to light the match first?
I don't believe so. I think, and I'm trying to remember now, I think that I've even forgotten that there is a back side. Oh my goodness, this is embarrassing because I don't remember how to light the fire. No, there's not.
There's not like a flint strip on the matchbox?
Maybe. Oh yeah,
there you
it
go.
is. Good thinking. That's why we've got two brains here. There we go.
Oh wow, that got violent.
Well, we have been running the gas for 10 minutes or something, so.
Okay, now water's getting hot.
And yeah, we
Is it
see
gonna
our
explode?
temperature
Should we
gauge
get out of
going
there?
up. Oh. And then it went all the way down, and we heard a crunchy clicking sound.
Do we need to turn down the gas?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it seems like it keeps... resetting, so let's try and turn down the gas a little. Hey guys, this is Andrew here in post. We struggle with this part a bit, so I just sped it up so that you guys don't have to struggle with us and listen to our trying to fill the void here. So it just takes a few minutes, and we'll be right back to the rest of the video. Thanks, guys. Okay, now we're down at the basement. I think, now that I'm thinking about it, is that amount of gas controls the speed of the elevator and whether it goes up or down. So I think if we had turned it down a couple more notches, it would have gone down faster. But it doesn't matter. We're here now. And we've got a
white book.
A white book on a little tree stump with the light. And, oh, here we have a little video of what looks like Treetop Village land, which we know is the Channelwood Age. So let's click on the image. We'll get our island flyby.
Are we actually going to get teleported into that world and have to do puzzles in that world?
Wouldn't that be so awesome? What a concept of a game. And here we are on Channelwood.
Fuck.
I think we're kind of at our time here.
That next time?
Pick it up next time here at Channelwood. So thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it, Marcus.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It's kind of interesting to go back, especially if you've never played it. So join us next time on the adventure as we explore through Channelwood Age. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Don't do the hokey pokey, even though Marcus is going to tell you to.
Do the hokey pokey in the comments.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.